An even deadlier scourge followed: Spanish influenza. The epidemic, believed to have originated in China, killed somewhere between 20 million and 40 million people around the globe. In the United States, nearly 1/4 of the population contracted the disease, including the elder Melville Jacoby. In January 1919, before his son was even 2.5 years old, Jacoby died. Elsa Jacoby had a nervous breakdown following her husband's death. The Stearns swooped in and brought Elsa back to their home at Hollywood and Vine, where together they cared for her and Mel. For the next 4 years, Elsa's parents, siblings, and household staff helped raise the boy. Elsa eventually recovered from her depression, strengthened in part by converting to Christian Science. As young as Mel was, he seemed to sense how very much a young mother needed him, Elsa later told the writer John Hershey. When Mel was 6 years old, Elsa purchased a house in LA's Benedict Canyon, where she tried to care for Mel on her own. Elsa was attentive, and her son was dutiful, possibly too much so. "My chief difficulty was to get him to go outside and play, so long as there was as much as a wastebasket to empty inside," she recalled, perhaps with a bit of motherly embellishment. Mel's frequent visits to his grandparents' home while he was growing up let him observe Hollywood's early days. Despite the bustle around him, Mel seemed happiest in the Stearns swimming pool. Elsa always fretted about his long dives beneath the pool's surface. But Mel appealed to her newfound religion, insisting that God's under that water too. He'll show me how to come up again. A few years after her first husband's death, Elsa fell in love with Manfred Mayberg, another member of Los Angeles's tight-knit Jewish community. He had worked his way up from office boy to president at Germain's Seed and Plant Company, one of the era's largest agricultural supply companies. On March 8, 1922, the year Manfred bought a controlling stake in Germain's, he and Elsa wed. The marriage lightened Elsa's spirits as well as Mel's. Though Mel welcomed Uncle Manfred into his life, he still spent enough time at his grandparents' home that their youngest son, Eugene, considered Mel, 10 years his junior, more akin to a younger brother than a nephew. If Mel felt smothered by Elsa, he didn't make such feelings known. Still, Elsa sent Mel away to summer camp when he was 8 years old, in part to help put some distance between them. "I still remember the expression on that little fellow's face when I drove away and left him with all those strangers," she wrote nearly 2 decades later. "When he saw I was beginning to weaken, he said, 'You promised me you wouldn't cry,' and I didn't. Nor have I the many times in the past 6 years when I have bid him goodbye, only because Melville has helped to make me a stronger woman." Despite his father's early death, Mel had a happy childhood, full of typical boyhood passions. He was a lifelong stamp collector, or philatelist, who would search for new designs throughout his journeys around the world. Mel's boy, Elmer, a black-and-white Australian shepherd, meant so much to him that he sometimes sent postcards home addressed to the dog from his many travels. Over the years, lovers and friends would know to ask after Elmer, having either heard about or met the dog. Mel also started writing early, beginning with small pieces that appeared in Hollywood's Selma Avenue Elementary School's weekly paper. After transferring to Hawthorne School in 6th grade, he became a sports editor. By the time he was a junior at Beverly Hills High, where he was an Honor Society member, Mel was the school paper's business manager and later its news editor. A fan of camping and being outdoors, Mel also grew up when much of the Los Angeles area was still undeveloped and blanketed with sagebrush, oaks, and poppies. He had ample space to freely explore the wild hills and canyons surrounding Beverly Hills and Hollywood, collect Native American artifacts, and attend summertime concerts at the Hollywood Bowl. He often refused the box seats offered to his well-connected family and chose instead to climb the